Fremantle, they're largely going in with a full-strength lineup, especially through midfield, where the likes of Rodriguez and Juan are going to be the keys today.
Yeah, their midfield is crazy good. It has been all year. So Rodriguez and Juan have been waxing and waning off each other. And then, Taj Longmuir, who played a lot of school footy this year, has come back in and gone really well as well. And Lucas Robinson's one to watch, bottom age player. He's more of a wet weather player, so but he's still an unbelievable talent. So I'm excited to see him out there.
Lucas Robertson could be a key in the roving division as well, alongside one. Let's go to the reigning premiers. The team lineups thanks to Grant's Car Stereo. For Claremont, also the one change. Robert Farmer also goes out of the side, but of course with a side that has got the depth and PSA duties that they have had during the year, for them to come back at just the right time as far as Claremont is concerned, you couldn't have asked for a more full-strength Claremont side as they chase a third straight premiership.
Yeah, and usually, so it's been a bit of a strange season for Claremont. Usually they're sort of able to hold their spot in the top four. We know that they're no strangers to a Colts grand final, this club. But it's been a lot of the bottom ages surprisingly getting it done in the back end of the season too. So we talk about George Gale, we talk about the younger Banfield, Harper Banfield, and Benji Van Rooyen in the ruck. So it's the young guys really getting it done for them. And of course Charlie Banfield's just had an unbelievable stretch.
Cody Curtin, of course, on the half-forward line. Lucas Catalini could be the one matched up on him in today's game. Both have big bodies and also have got great ability in the aerial department as well. So that could be a one-on-one that could decide this game.
Yeah, really excited to see what happens there. You're right. I mean, Catalini's been just a rock for them down back and cutting off attack after attack. And Cody Curtin just kicks goals for fun, goals level, bags of 5. Struggled a little bit last week. I think it definitely wasn't a day for key forwards. But those two are a matchup that's exciting as anything out there today.
The dry conditions are going to suit the tall forwards today. As we saw in the reserves a little earlier, there is the Premiership Cup, both decorated in both teams' colours. Only one will have the decorations on both sides. Will it be South Fremantle or will it be Claremont? What about the keys for South Fremantle today, Nick, especially through their midfield?
It's going to be a tough game, but I'm going to like Paul to go for Claremont, a roughie.
Well, I like South Fremantle. Dan, your tip today?
South Fremantle, I think, having that week off, and I think Claremont going the long way round, it takes a lot out of side. So for me, I'm going to go with Souths.
So Latrell Yaron, who's kicked 13 goals in the season, not in the lineup today for the Bulldogs. And the bounce of the Colts grand final. Dan Hobley to get us underway.
Yeah, we start with an errant bounce. So a few nerves there from the umpire, the field umpires this afternoon. Tam Nguyen, Will Turner, sporting the name, well, the number I should say, 45, and of course Charles Hamilton with 47 on the back. Van Rooyen in the ruck, competing hard up against Elliot Tybin. Forward they go. That being the Tigers. South Fremantle, of course, winning the toss and kicking to the casino end. Claremont stuck in the pocket. Errant hand pass came out. South Fremantle's defence, we all over that and caused a stoppage. Piling in amongst the rubble there was Harper Banfield. And there'll be a throw up in this forward pocket. Curtin, such a prominent figure. It was mentioned in the pre-game. Tapped it down around the body here for the Tigers. They are on the board. Kicked around the body there by Jermaine, by the look of things. And Claremont strike first.
And beautiful front and centre, clever goal there by number 23 in Caleb Jermaine, but a very intelligent knock there by Cody Curtin. Middle of ground once again, went a bit early as Van Rooyen. Ball comes to the contest. South trying to put his head in the hole was one. He got tackled and he didn't have it. Umpire said play on, and wrapped up on a tackle is Caleb Jermaine, who kicked that last goal. So good start here by the Tigers. One straight, 6, South yet to score.
He's played every game in the season 2025, 19 disposals, 4 inside 50s. Back in round 6. That's gone up the chimney flute, up and down. Ball spills down at ground level. They're looking for the immediate response of the Bulldogs, and no prior opportunity. We have another ball up. So temperatures hovering around 20 degrees here. Bright sunshine. One of the best venues in the world, Optus Stadiums. It comes back up. Van Rooyen won it down, but only to a red and white jumper. They try to pick their way through. Shot on goal from Robinson looks pretty good, and it is there. The immediate response, the under-16s MVP, floats it home from 45, and it's one straight apiece. Fantastic finish from Lucas Robinson. As we said, the under-16s MVP had 27 touches back in round 6. And Matt Rogers, head coach, will be happy with that response. And we come back to the middle, one straight apiece. Let's have a look at it back on the replay. And trying in vain there was Charlie Banfield, as we said, a famous footballing family name. And not bad for the young man, is it, Cam? Off one step to put it through from there.
And boys, he did the double cobra as he kicked the snag. How good's that?
Yeah, seen some genuine talent early. It was a lovely finish there, as you mentioned, Matty. Good call there on Robertson. All of a sudden, one apiece, grand final day. It's been a ripping start from both sides. Jermaine gets another early possession there. He may have caught one over the shoulder. In fact, holding the ball, goes the other way. Rodriguez goes with a kick, and he finds one. On the centre wing, goes by hand to Catalini. The left foot travels about 45 metres and marked across that half-back. And a good mark too. Not easy, Elijah Dennis, who comes back inboard. And the Tigers will set things up at centre half-back. Just getting back to Jermaine, boys. His old man, Justin, I knew very well. A good kniving lad down there in the Great Southern as the ball transferred to Dennis. Curtin was around the football too. Claremont have it on centre wing or up the stadium. Drilling ball there for the Tigers. Came off the boot there of Charlie Banfield, son of Drew. Turnover at half-back. South Fremantle will have the football. It'll be the hands there of McChrystal at half-back for Souths. One straight each apiece. 4 minutes played, grand final day, first term.
So Crystal decides to play along the mark. Gets a bit of distance with a kick down the line. Good spall over the top by Van Ruren. Rove in front in the sands of Claremont play. Might have been pushed off the footy. Rove in beautifully as one. He's all class this lad, but turns the ball over and hits up Joseph Hopkins for the Tigers. Pulled the trigger. Good kick in the end. Claremont just maintaining a bit of possession in the midfield. They're taking the game on. That's what I like. Well done by then. This time they pull the trigger in the half-forward flank. Running hard here. Good play there's Banfield. Has it kicking up half for goals. Banfield lowers his eyes to the right, half-forward flank. Beautiful weighted kick. That's a ripper. And the lace out finds his teammate, and that's Val Davies. And Claremont move one end of the ground, checks the other. Very impressive.
Yep, 2 inside 50s apiece. And tremendous ball movement there from the Tigers. Allows their first set shot.
And 2 turnovers too, gents. Yep. The ball's gone into that forward line for Souths, and Claremont have been able to cut it off with their defensive structure set up.
So Val Davies started on the pine, kicked 3 back in that win in round 13. Starts his approach. It never looked like heading between the big sticks, so misses to the left-hand side. Our first blemish. 1-1-7. Bulldogs 1 straight 6. Claremont have been the benchmark for so many years. They've won 5 of the last 10 flags in the Colts competition. Played in the last 7 grand finals as well. As the kick comes in, a good strong contested mark from Josh Graham. 8th in the competition in tackle, so he loves it at the coalface. Spearing ball inside 50. Mark wasn't taken. It'll come back towards Graham. He collects just inside the 50 arc. Quick hands there off to the run of Davies. They run in trouble when they get the handball and the snap. Tremendous finish. The Tigers. Let's have another look at the goal. The quick hands off to Melody onto the left boot. And he's been in some pretty good form, hasn't he, gents? He had 28 touches in that preliminary final win. And the Tigers now, again, with their nose in front.
Well, Melody will be singing the tune that Ricky Smith would be liking with that running goal. Impressive stuff. Claremont 2 on the board. Early lead. 2-1-13 to settle the nerves over South Fremantle. 1 straight 6 as they burst away from the stoppage. Inside 50 there from Banfield. That being the Charlie variety. Souths under the pump. Need to clear the ball quickly. Numbers again with Claremont as they pressure the ball at half forward. Play picking it up there was Harper Banfield. Swings it back with a hand pass there to Graham. That being Josh. Kick inside to the top of the goal square. Players converge. Borderline stoppage developing here, it does. Just on the far half-forward flank, around about 35 from Claremont's goal. It's a deadly part of the ground so far for the Tigers. The South Fremantle need to be organised around this stoppage. Offhand, Elliot Tideman there for Souths. Ball comes to ground. Now, was there a hole? Kick off the ground. Should be out of bounds on the full, and that will mean came off the boot there of Harper Banfield, who's been prominent early, and he'll be with South Fremantle in the back pocket, who will clear in the sunshine.
So it's Crystal, goes lateral with the kick. It's a good one. He finds Thomas. Pulls the trigger in the corridor here. Good weighted kick, and South once again can run the ball down this attacking side. The Cook was over-kicked. Longmuir lost it. Claremont have the numbers. They pull the ball into the half-forward flank here. Two numbers of the South sport each other. Lack of talk there by South. Claremont, the Tigers have it. Handball was okay. The run and the carry's good. This runs from Harper Banfield. Hugged the boundary line with the kick. The kick was over. Cook tried to find Jenkins-Hopkins lads, but the kick and the skill execution was not so good.
Cam, just quickly, what I've noticed from Claremont when they bring the ball in, they're lowering the eyes, a bit better than South's potentially, but that has been a telling part so far from Claremont's mids.
100%.
So the Banfields, 5 disposals each, lead that category on the field. Shallow toss in from the boundary umpire. Hand pass was too hot to handle for Jenkins-Hopkins. It is South Fremantle that stand up on left half back. They kick to a big contest. Floating back with the flight of the ball was Foster, but instead ends in the grateful arms of Lucas Robinson. Oscar Willis. So he looks to put it towards the bullseyes. This is Jermaine, kicked the first of the afternoon, and that's a good juggled mark now. Well, they're looking to set up just forward of those bullseyes. Elijah Williams has used his time, delivers it perfectly. The Tigers can re-enter inside 50. Chiselling ball's a good one. And on the end of that one for the Tigers is Heath Melody. Said he's been in ripping form from Wembley Downs Junior Footy Club.
Home with the Cats, mate. All good players come from there.
And he plays on, and they've coughed it up. So South Fremantle dodge a bullet there as they kick outside defensive 50. Just looking for territory more than a red and white jumper, but they turn it over. Now will the Tigers set up across half forward. The hand pass towards Catalini was just over his head, and they come in to knot it up. And we'll go down to Tim on the boundary.
South Fremantle looking a bit raggedy at the moment. Claremont 2 or 3 players back behind the play, building the wall. Blood is in the water.
The Tigers, again, another inside 50, almost a mark taken in the, just up from the forward pocket. They are in all sorts, South Fremantle. They just need a breather, and they might get that. That's the mark taken there in defence by Max Thomas. Now, Thomas can just settle for the moment for South Fremantle. They just need some space and just some time and possession. Good-looking kick. The focus was heading for Elliot Tideman, who couldn't take the mark. Wrapped up again. Another South Fremantle player as the Tigers look to converge and wanted the ball back over the chalk, and we'll have a throw in right on the true centre wing position here at Optus Stadium. It's in the hands of Caleb Jermaine, being good early for the Claremont Tigers. Will look to just go with a high ball, travels about 45 metres, worked off nicely for Claremont. Picked up there by Carter Bryant, it was for Claremont for the moment, but South Fremantle have given it back, and there will be a free kick to Charlie Banfield there for the Tigers, who will look to inject the ball back inside 50.
So it's Banfield for the Tigers. Looking at his options, there is none, so kicks the ball in a bit of space. Running hard to lead the sport each other. The Claremont players roving beautifully here with South. There's Thomas breaking from the centre half back. Second bounce, can take another one, son. He does. He goes straight down the corridor with a kick. There's a 1-on-1. Good mark. Oh, the Claremont player dropped it. Now opportunity for South to have none. Pick up below his knees was absolutely sensational, and put that one in the bank.
Cam Maynard, the second of the afternoon for the Bulldogs. The inside 50 count lopsided to the right of your screen. 10-3 the inside 50 count in favour of the Tigers, yet they only enjoy a 1-point lead, so much more efficient. 3 entries for the Bulldogs, 2 majors. We're back in the middle. Maynard kicks goal number 16 for him. Live wire forward, and all set up from that run and carry through the middle. Then Royan won it down. Good strong tackle laid there from Hanson. Nahoy jarring the footy loose. Too hot to handle for Miller Rank, and he gets run down and dumped. And the umpire sifts through the card. He says, gives it to me, and have a ball up just inside 50. 2-1 to 2 straight. Matt Chechen's here alongside Dan Hobley and Cam Robbins in commentary. Jordan McCardle, Tim Lees roving the boundary in their smashing looking jackets today, that's for sure. The ball comes up towards half forward, brought down at ground level again. Fantastic run down and tackle, holding the ball. The Bulldogs are hunting at the moment. Fantastic work from that last goal kicker in Maynard. So he goes off a step, lowers the eyes, but no one at home. The Tigers get the intercepting mark as Tom Brown looks laterally. They tow it down the line. That's a stray kick back into the arms of Maynard. Here come the Bulldogs once again.
The Dogs looking in control of this last couple of minutes. Maynard kicked the previous goal. Good luck marking that. The Tigers are just so good in defence when they set up. Van Ruin getting back. Soft lays the hand pass. Careful ball and a mark taken. Very good mark taken too there by Harper Banfield. Being good for the Tigers. Just up from the defensive 50. Goes with a interesting kick. It wandered its way through, but the Tigers have plenty of time and space. Now it's going to be a foot race back to the goal square. Player in charge at the moment who's going to kick a goal, and an easy one, and that is Val Davies. That shift of play from Claremont looked electric. It results in their third goal. They get an early buffer. They lead by 7 points. Check under 15 minutes played, first quarter, grand final day. The Tigers hit back.
Good effort, wasn't it? Just Claremont, the transition from one end to the other. They pulled the trigger, they ran through the corridor, and as you well described, Dan, there was a foot race on, and the faster player was Val Davies, and they've kicked 3 goals to Claremont, the 1 minute mark, the 6 minute mark, and the 14.5 minute mark of this first quarter, and a very, very good tight first quarter. Skills by both sides, boys, in this fast deck, absolutely electrifying.
So 3-1 to 2 straight. Halfway through this first term. Looking for the three-peat, the back-to-back-to-back, the Tigers. Back in the middle, Van Rooyen decisively winning it down, but just wrestled out of the arms there. Lucas Robinson goes with a long high ball. Was that a push out? The umpire said yes, right in on the scene. Brady Foster looks to go out aside. Ball almost Falcons his Tigers teammate, and the second bit of ill discipline in a matter of 30 seconds. Free kick going to Harper Banfield. 6 disposals for him. He hit that off his shin. It floated awkwardly towards centre half forward. Numbers favour the Tigers. That was good vision out the side door. Chest mark of Jackson. Catalini fed it off to a teammate. It's another run down. The umpire said he got his hands to the footy so they can go forward again up towards the kick-off line. Ball brought down to ground level. They're towing the boundary line at the moment. Catalini's kick outside 50 was smothered, and they finally get it out end over end, and that mark will not be paid. The umpire says, give it to me. 16 3/4 minutes have travelled. 7 points to margin. Tigers in control.
So umpire's going to throw the ball up. There he goes. 1v2. Well done through the traffic. I'd have got one high. The umpire said, no, you didn't. 3 tackling machines against 1 Claremont player there. The Claremont player with Charlie Banfield picked himself up off the turf, doing the ruck work. This time Van Rooyen is being shrugged off the footy. Giving away the free kick here. And it'll be Byron Foster for the Bulldogs. Half-back flank. So Foster looking at his options. He's going to hoik this ball down the commentary side of the ground here at Optus. Over the top, roving it beautifully. Far side was Willis. He goes on his left foot here. South players all dropped the soda. Hamble's okay. Found the big fella in Foster. Through the traffic. Hamble's even presses by Thomas. Now they're away, aren't they? The South machine. They've handball over to Wan. Beautiful kick by Wan. Skill personified. Luke has it now. And Wan might have copped a bit of treatment behind the footy. Picking himself up gingerly into a bit of space. South, good ball movement. Patient ball movement, Matty Chetz. They just needed a player to run in a bit of space, and that player running the space was Rodriguez.
Yeah, so Fred Rodriguez, the WA captain, stuffs the stat sheets back in round 6 in that win. 32 touches, 4 tackles and a goal, and a golden opportunity. We've gone almost tennis-like, goal for goal, right to left. This for 3 straight. He's kicked that perfectly. His first of the afternoon. The bull. So Fred Rodriguez, nice bit of in-swing there. Scorchers will love that here at this venue. He's now kicked 8 for the season, 8-3. A very steady kick is Fred Rodriguez.
A bit like your cricketing experience there, Matty Chetz. I believe you took 8 for 12 last year. Big beaming right arm in swingers and bowl at about over 105 clicks too, I believe.
Yeah.
Little spikes over.
Express pace.
Yeah, I'd say a couple of Damien Fleming stories out of all that. A bit of the old late swingers. Souths go inside 50. Back to the footy. Picked up there by the big man being McDonald. He threw it on the boot. Lovely looking kick. I don't know if he... Didn't know if he knew that Taj Longmuir was going to be there. Longmuir is going to swing around on the left boot and kicks a simple goal. Claremont weren't awake. Down to Tim Lees for an update. South Fremantle get another. They go to 4 straight 24. They lead the Tigers 3-1-19. Tim, how do you see that?
Magnificent goal, wasn't it? Claremont are rolling in a three-way rotation to sit half forward and just savage South Fremantle.
So, Longmuir gets one on the board, and South Fremantle, I thought it was a good bit of play there from McDonald, gentlemen, but I just get this feeling at the moment, a couple of bigger bodies for South Fremantle that we're seeing from the midfield, Rodriguez being one of those, and on possession alert, Cody Curtin has only had the 2 possessions so far. Now, it's not all on his shoulders, but hasn't fired a shot as we speak. But South Fremantle, 4 straight 24. The Tigers, 3-1-19. 20 minutes played, been a very entertaining quarter of football.
So the umpire's going to throw the footy up again. Van Rooyen for the Tigers. Tries to bring the ball to ground. Good chain of handball. He found Charlie Banfield. He throws on his boot to centre half forward here. Good spoil over the Thomas by Thomas for South. Claremont get it though. Little chiselling kick down the half foot. Good defensive pressure behind the ball there in Maxie Thomas, who started this game extremely well down back. Well, he's played that deliberate. Thought, geez, what else could you do? But the umpire said he could have done a little bit better, son. So he's given away the free kick to Claremont. How'd you see that one, Matty Chetch?
Yeah, interesting decision. South Fremantle have taken their first lead. 15-7, that inside 50 count still.
So it's Charlie Watson around the corner. He's hit the post. Minor score, and the crowd goes, that's all it deserved.
So just the minor score. 3-2-20 to 4 straight 24. So we have a look at the inside 50s, as we said, 16-7 now. The hit-out's 10-3 in favour of the Tigers, and have had 55% of the pill, but they find themselves trailing. It's very early stages. Tracking that football back in defence was Jacob Donald. Ran into a little bit of trouble. Nice circle work there from the Bulldogs. They kick down the broadcast wing. Big fly at the back. That's a good mark. One for the early highlight reel in the grand final. Sensational stuff from Heath Melody. He has kicked a goal. Backward of the wing. To a contest. Going too deep. Brought down by Graham. And they scored the ball carrier out of bounds. We've got another throw-in. Good strong work there from Lucas Ali. The 4 straight to 3-2. Chechens, Dan Hobley, Cam Robbins here on the call. Jordan McArdle, Tim Lees on the boundary this afternoon. Claremont looking for 3 straight flags. Bulldogs looking for their 10th in the Colts competition. They have the early edge. That kick slews off the side of the boot, just remains inside the boundary. Spiking it out of play to make sure it's Joseph Hopkins, and we'll have a boundary throw-in just to the left of the interchange gates.
Very good defence there from Hopkins for the Tigers. Leading possession getters on the ground. Charlie Banfield with 8, Harper Banfield too far behind him with 7, and Caleb Germain, no surprise, with 7. For South Fremantle, Max Thomas with 7 possessions as the shallow throw comes in. Tigers again wrapped up. It looks to me like it'll be Banfield down the bottom of that.
And now it's on, boys. We like this.
Yeah, don't mind a bit of passion, but the umpires are going to have to be really clever here and just get on with the football, which they have done. So, bit of spark, don't mind it. You need to get on with the football. The hand pass comes out, and away this Claremont machine goes. If you can land in the right hands. Straight away, there is a turnover, though. Ali goes to half forward. Good-looking kick, and a very, very good-looking mark, too, on the outer side by Maynard, who's made a good start. Now, he's only a small customer. Goes with an interesting kick over 15 metres. Now, stab around the body for South Fremantle across the face. It came off the boot there of Rodriguez. And Souths, well, that's their first blemish. They go to 4-1-25. They lead by 5 points as Claremont just peel the ball to a back pocket. In the hands there of Hopkins. Hopkins goes with a floating kick. Almost the mark taken there by Catalini. Catalini has South Fremantle players all around him. Stripped of it again. South Fremantle through the agency there as Stannard got a hand pass out. It was adjudged a throw, and that will mean it will land back in the hands of the waiting Watson, who will take it just up from half back. In the dying moments of this first term, South Fremantle lead by 5 points over Claremont, 24 played.
And Watson, Mungle kick off the boot. It's going to work out okay. Handball, going to be tackled from behind. Gets his boot on the ball. Centre half forward. Great mark. That's what we wanted from Cody Curtin. He's been hardly sided all afternoon in this first quarter. But Curtin takes a mark. He's been well beaten so far against Maxie Thomas. But Curtin right on the siren here. A chance to put the Tigers back in front.
How big would this be, gents? Hasn't been seen much this quarter, but how's the old go to the quarter time huddle if he pops this through?
Yep, confidence boost if he gets it. If he doesn't, confidence loser. So here he is right behind this. Curtin, younger brother of Daniel, leans back on this kick. Look good off the boot. Is it going to get the distance? I think it has just. Or touch. It's a through for a goal. Curtin goes berserk. Claremont go berserk. And they get one right on the quarter time buzzer. So effort, boys. 4 goals apiece. First goal came in the minute 4 mark of the first quarter to Jermaine, and then Robinson kicked one for South at the 2-minute mark. Then Melody at the 6, and then Maynard 12. So the mixture of the goals between both there, Dan, was very, very good.
8 individual goal kickers. When you look at both sides, obviously 4 each for both sides. But I don't think you could have asked, gents, for a better first quarter of football. It's been capped off there by Curtin, nailing one that was there for Claremont. Beautiful day for football. I think we're really set up for a magnificent second term. But what I really loved about Claremont is they straightened up in that last 2 to 3 minutes to give Curtin an opportunity to clunk that ball at half forward, where South Fremantle, I felt, at about the 15-minute mark, just took over.
First term in the books. We'll be right back at the end of these messages for the start of the second term. Isn't it? It's hard to gauge and really to tip a winner. Despite these teams finishing first and third, they've met twice, split that one apiece earlier in the season, but they had some of their bigger players out, didn't they? So that first term, both teams really just filling each other out, really.
Outside the class too, you look 12 of these players played in the state Eanes there, Dan. So the class personified between both South Fremantle and Claremont. Very even contest. Weather conditions sensational. The deck's quick. And the ball moved from both sides, from the back end of the ground to the forward end of the ground, has been electrifying.
Well, I found it very interesting that Ricky Smith talked about contested football. I think Claremont aren't doing too badly inside when they give it to the first option, give it to the Jermaines and the Cossins. Jordan McArdle.
Guys, Toby Wan spent the entire quarter-time break getting his left shoulder strapped up and a bit of the old magic spray. He hasn't come back on the ground yet. He's still getting some work done. We've got to remember he had 34 disposals and a goal against Claremont when they won in round 6, so will be a massive loss if he can't get back up there.
Thanks for that, Jordan McArdle, and he will be providing an update, no doubt, because arguably one of the talents of the upcoming draft crop. We're back in the middle, start of the second term. It'll be the Tigers to the left of your screen, and they get the first clearance up towards half forward. The umpires spotted the free kick, and deservedly so. So into the arms of Jennings Hopkins. Kicked 14 goals, too far out to score, and just hit the belly of the ball there. That's a great tackle inside 50, holding the ball. Well, he's on a hiding to nothing, wasn't he, McChrystal?
That's a collarbone cruncher. When you caught one of those, very lucky that he didn't hit his head, really. But it was a classy tackle.
And we saw that, didn't we, on Friday night in the AFL?
Got 3-4, it's big Charlie.
He did, but the free kick and the ultimate start here potentially for the Tigers. So Sam Gallagher, Subiaco Junior Footy Club. Man to my left here, Cam Robbins, very interested in Subiaco footy. just 2 goals won on the season, Gallagher. So a chance to just open up this lead, which only stands at 1 point. Gets very close to the player on the mark, and that ball hooking and missing to the left-hand side. That lead now 2 points. We've only travelled 1 minute in the second term. The Colts decider the season 2025.
So Gallagher pushing that to the left-hand side. Plenty of sunshine, but no oasis out of all of that. The South Fremantle go long and strong. Almost the mark taken there by Van Ruin. And he gives it off nice and quickly to Willis. Now Willis to centre-half forward. Not the most ideal pill for a centre-half forward to pull down. Chase, though, there by Jermaine. Eventually, they'll get it back to Tigers. They'll go inside 50. Direction of the kick wasn't too bad. Van Ruin and Curtin were there. South Fremantle cut it off, and they'll have it through the agency there of the big fella in Elliot Tideman. Gee, went very close to infringing there, I thought, from the Tigers' perspective there. Bryant very close to the man on the mark. Kick travels just its required distance. It's within the hands there of the gun in Rodriguez. Now Rodriguez, about the only man you'd probably trust to kick that far across the face, and he finds the running Wilson. Now Wilson pokes it wide and can link up again with a chain of hand passes. Now he sold his teammate into a fair bit of trouble. Now Wilson will have to get the ball back and apply the tackle, which he does. Needed to be cleaner, I thought, and just get on with it, get the ball forward. You can see Matt Rogers on screen throwing the head back with some disappointment. Stoppage develops on the far side of the ground. We've played 2.5 minutes at South Fremantle. 4-1-25. They trail Claremont 4-3-27.
Got an injury update again.
Injury update down there, Geordie.
Toby Wan is getting ready to get back onto the ground, so a massive boost for South Fremantle's midfield.
Thanks much, Geordie. So Claremont go down the lines here to half-forward flank. Left his play. Good effort by Thomas. Handball over the top. Well done by the Bulldogs here. They use the pace and the delivery of the footy, which is sensational. They have the ball on this concentrating wing. Can you draw the play over the top? They do that extremely well. They kick the ball to centre half forward by Thomas. Well riding there is Williams. He goes lateral with a kick, finds his teammate. Can draw the play over the line, kick it a bit of space. He goes to the ladder. It's a foot race on Jennings Hopkins. Good defence of Sporlo from behind, pleading for a free kick. The kick wasn't there. Should be holding the footy. It's not. Claremont have the numbers through Jenkins Hopkins. Handball over the top was pretty effective. Found his teammate. That's Dennis. He's wrapped up in a tackle, holding the pill. Good defensive pressure by South.
Tremendous effort. Chase down tackle. We saw one earlier from Maynard. This time that one was affected by Roberts. So can they clean up their disposal across half back? Kick didn't travel the required distance, and an interesting ball coming back towards the corridor has been chopped off. So the Tigers, can they make the Bulldogs pay? Spearing ball. Was that into back? No, said the umpire. Little hand pass out the side door. Trying to work in the telephone booth there was McAuliffe. He ran into trouble. Kick up and out of defence now finally from the Bulldogs. And they get a bit of respite, but it could be coming back off the knuckles. Tumbling ball. Numbers favouring the Bulldogs at the moment. Stooping down there was Robinson. Spots a target, but the errant kick is going to be chopped off. In defence, Tim Lee's on the boundary. And here come the Tigers, and they make the Bulldogs pay. The turnover, and second goal of the afternoon to Jermaine, and just like that, they were under heavy shelling in that defence, weren't they, the Bulldogs? Then the turnover, they get hit coming back the other way, and now the biggest lead of the afternoon for the Tigers, 5-3-33 to 4-1-25.
Gee, Cam, how's the finish there from Jermaine? He's showing his class. He's an Albany boy down there from the North Albany, originally from Niving in the Great Southern, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast. But that there, off 2 steps, just went bang. That's the sort of stuff that you want out of the midfield. Goal-kicking mids, and Jermaine is delivering.
4:47, boys, so the first part of the second quarter, their pressure personified.
Back in the bullseye. Where would you rather be here at Optus Stadium? Been a fantastic game of football so far, but the Tigers have opened it up. They lead by 8 points at this stage as the umpire goes back to his duties and looking to bounce the football. That's courage personified, if you don't mind. Bouncing the football, and it's very good too, as South Fremantle have a rare clearance and they can work it out through the agency there of Robertson. Robertson with a high ball. Contest at half forward. The Tigers again, clear. Van Ruin with a hand pass. Wasn't the best. Comes through Hanson Nanoi. South Fremantle again. Dangerously bring the ball back into the full forward line. The Tigers again under some pressure. Ball with Gale. Hand pass. Back again, they'll clear through Brown. Brown peels the ball wide and Claremont can get on the bike. They have players on the outer side of the ground. Mark taken there by Banfield. Banfield comes back inside. Claremont with plenty of numbers yet again. Just have to be clean. Gave it up though. At centre half forward. South Fremantle let out of jail on this occasion as they clear from half back. And the ball lands in the hands of Roberts, who's at half back. And he'll kick it wide. And there'll be a chance here for Miller to clear for Souths.
Overcooked the kick though. Claremont have the numbers behind the ball. Well set up beautifully there by Hopkins. Sells a bit of candy. Threw the handball over the top. He found Tommy Brown. Beautiful kick to Brown to space. And the hard leading Cody Curtin takes a mark. Injury update down there, boys. No, over the top. Well done. Hit the park very hard. Good defensive tackle by Claremont. And they're very good in their forward attacking 50. Matty checks with the defensive efforts by the Tigers.
Yeah, we've seen some tough tackling, haven't we? They lock it inside 50. Good to see Toby Wan back onto the ground. And Jordan has got an update for us on the boundary line.
No, unfortunately, Toby Wan is back off the ground. He looked in serious pain with that left shoulder. He only spent about 3 minutes on the ground before going back off. So would be very, very surprised if he gets back out there at the moment.
Terrible news for the Bulldogs and a free kick. So the afternoon just getting worse. And the free kick's been spotted and given to the Tigers in that infringement, that ball up. So a chance to go back and extend this 8-point lead. It'll be Harper Banfield.
Matty, just quickly, just keep an eye on Cody Curtin. His right buttock he grabbed only about 30 seconds ago.
Another superstar. Arguably one of the key cogs. As Banfield comes in, he starts it right, it swings home. And the Tigers, Banfield puts through his first. Tim Lee's on the boundary.
To change count, boys, because it is going nuts here for Claremont. We've got the three-way ruck rotation through centre half forward as well. So, yeah, keep an eye on that interchange count.
Thank you, Chip. Ball back in the middle of the ground. Rucks to go at it this time for Claremont. Had a bit of a win in there. Ball comes to the waiting Miller. Socket off the ground. Another inside 50 potentially, as it does make it past a chalk. Curtin blowing the clamps. Tigers again will go inside to their full forward line. Beautiful kick and a mark taken there by Jennings Hopkins, who's just started to bob up over the last couple of minutes just to get some possessions. And I'll tell you what, Souths are in trouble in defence at the moment, with Claremont's ball movement being so quick.
And this man in Jennings Hopkins played a key role in that prelim final win over the Sharks, kicked 2 goals.
So wait here on Jennings Hopkins. The finish will be the story point, the headline. Bit of a stutter, has a stab at it, and he may have delivered as his teammates come over. Wonderful kick, tough pocket. Claremont.
3 goals in 6 minutes to the Tigers. Matty checks. They've just put the after turbo onto this game here this afternoon, and as well called by Dan. Their pace at the moment is finding South out.
They've kicked their 7th, 6 individual goal kickers. South Fremantle need to respond, and they're without their best player, their key cog in Wan, who's come off the ground. Here comes South Fremantle. They need to respond. In the back, not paid, so the Tigers doing well to repel at centre half back. They kick out to a 2-on-1 outer side. Well judged mark there from Hanson Nahoy. They will get it back now. Bit of circle work at the moment. He gets corralled. Well done there from Rodriguez. Fortunately couldn't stick the tackle and allows the clearing kick. The ball tumbles back inside 50. Tigers are on a roll at the moment. They're hunting in packs. Good tackle in defence. Ball jarred loose. The Bulldogs will get to the contest. They wrap up. Jackson, that's Charlie Cossum. He's going nowhere. And another important stoppage, forward 50 for the Bulldogs. 20 points, the largest of the afternoon. Great smother on the footy there. And back in the hands of Cossum. He's slung 360 degrees in the tackle, and that is incorrect disposal. Free kick going the way of the Bulldogs, and a chance now to reset in the back pocket. Zach Godwin goes out laterally. Now I want to take a bit of air out of the football and just gather their thoughts, the Bulldogs.
So South Fremantle just across half-back and just work the ball along that centre line. They've got plenty of numbers around this football. Some flyers were there. One of those being McDonald. The free kick has been, maybe it was a Mark Pay. Doesn't matter. It's in the hands here of the talented Lucas Robertson. So Robertson takes his time. They need a goal, Souths. Make no mistake about that. Just gets the ball onto the boot. Nothing really doing there for South Fremantle as it's cleared there by Banfield, and he's going to give it back straight to where it came, and we'll do it all again as Robertson this time. Surely he may have learnt from his previous kick and will probably look to go short, you would suggest. Does that. Rodriguez sorts him out, presents hard, takes a confident mark. They need about three of them, I reckon. Rodriguez need three of those players. One in the middle, one down at full forward, one at centre half back now. Rodriguez, careful ball. Surely that's a free kick. And Bushy Jones has it on the outer side. Tim Lees is on the boundary. Tim?
They couldn't have polar opposites as their forward lines at the moment. Maynard playing as a standalone full forward. Up the other end, they've got some big tools.
So, thank you, Tim. And Souths again. An inside 50 does beckon, and it's going to be coming off the boot, you would suggest there, of Ryder Luke, who goes into full forward. Oh, numbers there again for Claremont. Around the body, though. They're going to cut it off, you would suggest. The Tigers have the numbers for the moment. They're tucked up here in this back flank. But again, through the agency of Jermaine, if he's clean, can give off the hand pass. Tackle applied. Surely ball there for South Fremantle. Brilliant work there by Miller. Not called. Stays inside the chalk. Ball across the body. Comedy of errors really from both sides. The umpires come in and says that'll be a throw in at half forward. And we'll do it all again as the Rucks will compete right on the junction of 50. 14 minutes played, second term. Souths into attack, but they trail by 20 points.
Foster doing the ruck work, tries to bring the ball in front of him. Good little pressure from behind. Well done by Foster. Tries to force his way through the pack. Claremont once again, it might have been a throw right in front of the umpire. The umpire picked it up. Defensive pressure, very good by the Bulldogs. And a chance for them. Might be Longmew, I think. He's going to have to kick here. He's already kicked one in the first quarter.
Similar position to where young Cody Curtin put one over the goal umpire's head, right on the quarter-time siren. Big kick for South Fremantle.
Certainly is. Tards Longmuir right behind this kick. He'll use that left foot. Good distance with the kick. He's pulled it right to get a bit more distance with the distance there. Checks. There's only a minor score to South Fremantle.
Moves that margin as we tick over 15 minutes of the second term. Tigers bring it back into play. Melody spotting a teammate. Good run as well across half-back. Just fans it out wide to the grateful arms of Williams. Williams looks on the 45-degree. Back into the corridor. We've seen this throughout the afternoon. They just want to bite one off. Risk reward at the moment looks to be paying off for the Tigers. They stream forward across left half forward. Little chiselling ball around the corner looking for Gale. He couldn't corral the football. Questions asked again. Ball volleyed out. Tigers queue up in the middle, and the little fend off, but the hand pass too hot to handle from Hanson Nahoy, and that is out of play. Right in front of some travelling Bulldogs, ferocious Bulldogs supporters there. They've come out red and white. A big afternoon for them also with the league game after the conclusion of that. That's a very shallow throw in, not going to be recalled. Running back towards his own goal there was Foster. Had to jam on the handbrake, turns back, and his kick's going to be chopped off. George Gale, 10th. Took 10 marks back in round 6. Looks to lower the eyes to a contest. Bright sunshine here at Optus Stadium. Tigers queue up, hand pass outside 50 towards Graham. He kicks up to a one-on-one at the kick-off line, off hands, through for a minor score. And the Bulldogs breathe a collective sigh of relief. 7-4-46, 4-2-26. As we're inside the final 10 minutes of this second term here at Optus.
29 inside 50s for Claremont to 13 for Souths, as the 30th will go begging here, you would suggest, barring a disaster. It is in the hands of the very impressive Melody. been a goal kicker, been a running player, been supportive, and now he's fancying himself big time from around about 55 metres. He'll have to kick, that being part of the journey. South's body language looks off to me over the last 5 to 6 minutes. Melody goes with the Jeff Farmer arc for a bit of extra distance. Got that distance, it's got to the chalk, but nowhere near on line and through for a behind. Claremont won't mind that for the moment. They do have a healthy lead as the Dogs from fullback will look to clear the ball with the opposite number 22, Lucas Ali, sporting the very fancy golden boots, or a yellow, whatever you want to call it, the canary yellow. They go back to my 12th man days. Goes with a short ball and he finds Maxi Thomas. Timmy Lees is on the boundary.
The run from Claremont is significant. Just a couple of waves just then. They're 3 or 4 metres behind South Fremantle. Signs are not looking good for the Dogs.
Thank you, Tim. As Luke clearing ball, 40-metre pass, and a brilliant mark taken, floating over the top there. Hopkins defying the gravity, doesn't apply to him, looks to give off the hand pass to the running Willis. Willis, long ball again. South Fremantle. Surely that's a mark. Almost taken there by Catalini, not played. Players go to ground. Eventually Souths will clear and they'll run it out through the agency there of Ali. Goes with a hand pass, opens up all of a sudden for South Fremantle. Comes there to Miller, scrubs the ball. Claremont up to the task for the moment. High footy, just inside the chalk, and the mark taken. Gee, some good aerial power there from both sides. It lands in the hands there of Charlie Banfield, who takes the ball at half-back and kicks a dangerous one back in the centre of the ground.
The Tigers have it. They're running the carry by Willis to the half-forward flank. Reading the ball better for South was Catalini. Takes them off, and the Dogs are off here. They pull the trigger in the middle of the corridor. The kick's efficient, finds Luff. Luff looking, waiting for the run, and the carrots come from South from behind. They kick the ball to the pocket. The kick was overcooked. Once again, the Tigers have numbers. The handball's impressive. Found his teammate, that was Williams. Williams found Catalini. There's 2 out of Catalini, 1 playing for Claremont, 1 playing for South. This one for Claremont is Jackson Catalini. He goes lateral with a kick and finds Williams. Wax on, wax off at the moment for the Tigers. They're just running everywhere at the moment. He finds Graham. Graham will use that left foot, running in a bit of space on this far side of the ground is Georgie Gale. It's a Gale for the Tigers, waiting for the kick. Goes to half forward, but reading, dropping the mark again was Foster, but good enough to get the ball again. South have the middle of up the stadium here. They kick the ball to the hot spot here. 2 over the top. Once again, Claremont. Look at this numbers they have at the drop of the footy. They found the teammate in Dennis. He's going to be challenged, Dennis. Well done by Rodriguez. What can this lad do? Kicks into space. Vision sensational. Rodriguez, you are a superstar. Timmy update in the boundary.
South Fremantle really struggling to have any forward structure. The press is on from Claremont, just lightning all of them, pressing up the ground. A couple of times then, South just got nothing to kick to.
How's the strut there from Rodriguez? Took a bounce inside the chalk and then just nailed that kick inside. Brilliant.
Important kick here for Luff to give the Bulldogs a bit of life in the game here. Luff pushes it right and Luff that for a minor score only to the Bulldogs. They are 4-3-27. Claremont are 7-5-47. Chet's a march of 20 points.
Missed a golden opportunity. Ball brought back in from Oscar Willis. Third in the competition in marks is Willis. The kicking duties as well. Foster brings it all the way back. The disposal inside 50 in the last 5 minutes has been very, very poor from South Fremantle. And that ball out of play. Failing to keep it alive there was Cade Luff, as we said. Started on the interchange point as we see Matt Rogers, the Cunderton lad. He's been posed a few questions here from the Tigers in this second term. 7-5 to 4-3. Hot conditions here at Optus for the season decider. Here come the Bulldogs. Lucas Robinson into, again, forward 50. The errant pass is going to be chopped off. Joseph Hopkins. 7th in the Colts competition for marks is Hopkins. Tall, rangy defender. Goes by left boot. A good one too. That was agricultural at best. The Tigers seemingly taking the advantage. Hand pass on the bounce there, collected by Graham. He recedes ground back towards Charlie Banfield. Loads up again, approaching double-digit possessions. 2 bites of the cherry there for the Tigers was Cody Curtin, not paid, but they managed to work it forward again. They stream forward here to the Tigers. The Bulldogs doing their best at the moment. The Tigers just treading water. They put the car in reverse, kicked around the corner from Carter Bryant. On the stretch was Curtin, not paid the mark. He's begging the umpire, and free kick not forthcoming. And out of play. In fact, it'll be a free kick to the Bulldogs in the back pocket.
Man, you can't do that, Connor. That's junior stuff. You don't plead for a free kick. He's got to get that out of the game. If he wants to be a good player at the next level, you can't wait for the umpire's decision. So Southguard down the line here. Over the top, the numbers with the Tigers. Handball on his non-preferred. That's a left. Wasn't too good, and that was Graham. And a boundary line throw in here. Great game of footy this one, lads. 20 points to the margin of the Tigers.
They've got to make a move here, South Fremantle. They've got to pitch one late to go into half-time, just to be in touch at the moment. Van Ruin just bullying his opponent. Souths. Hand pass was errant there from Roberts. Again, they're just first to the football, Claremont, that being Gallagher. Went to ground, though, as Souths will look to clear. Inside-out torpedo. Rodriguez should be in best position. It floats away at the last couple of seconds. Picked up there by Jermaine. Gave off the hand pass there to Willis. Willis with a dangerous ball. Should be a mark inside 50. Plenty of numbers around this. Hanson and Anoy gave off the hand pass. Snap around the body for the Tigers. And the behind. It came there off the fleeting boot of Val Davies, who kicked a goal in that previous term. Turnover, though. Comes back Jermaine, who has been a class act, I think been one of the better players for the Tigers, goes very, very short, only just the required distance you would expect. The South Fremantle faithful absolutely giving it to the umpire. I'll be careful in that regard. As the mark taken inside 50 for the Tigers, it is in the hands there of Gallagher, who can go back and shoot from 45. Gents, this will be, mark this moment down, as Gallagher, if he can kick this, this is really going to put the cat amongst the pigeons of South Fremantle's hopes, you would think. Gallagher on the approach, very awkward, was never, ever going to make the distance. The ball goes to the full-back position for Souths. It's pulled down, very good mark taken there by Robertson. And Souths, thankfully for them, and Matty Rogers' heart rate, they can release from the back pocket.
Just 30 seconds remain in this term. Bulldogs just trying to cling, grab something towards half-time. That'll work for them. Outer side of the ground, good stretching mark from Rodriguez. He's probably been their best player. Just reminding you that Toby Wan off the ground with an injury. We'll get an update on that at half-time. Did the Bulldogs snatch a late one? Just 10 seconds remaining. They'll need a mark. Do they get it? No. Just ricocheted off the thighs. Maybe the snap around the corner. This is what the Bulldogs need. And it misses right on the sound of the siren. And a minor score, as we are well and truly at the end of 2 chapters of this 2025 EGT Colts decider. 7-6-48. The Bulldogs 4-4-28. And as we see, both teams making their way off the ground. Much to do for the Bulldogs, you would suggest, in the third term.
Yeah, very good quarter time. The Tigers are up by 1 point. Checked and down on the interchange bench for another interview. So 90 points, boys. So 4-2 to 4-1 was a margin of 1 point, and it was 19 points at end of the second quarter. And I think we caught it, both Matt and Dan, the ability for Claremont to break the lines, to run in numbers, and their pace found South out so many times, but it doesn't help if South, you've got the best player off the ground in Toby Wan.
Let's head down to the ground, halftime interviews.
And I've got Cody Curtin here. Cody, seemed to have a 3-way rotation going in that ruck, playing a bit in the ruck and in centre half forward. You guys are right on top.
Oh yeah, that first half pressure was really up. We had a plan to go in. We know they're a really good side, so just going to have to come in and apply the pressure from the start. And then the ball fell our way that first half, so we've got to keep it up in the second half.
Incredible long bomb here. Talk us through the celebration. TikTok dance or something?
Oh, nah. It's one from a few past Adelaide Crows, Eddie Betts. And yeah, a few of the boys joking around on the ground before the game, saying they'd do it. So yeah, thought it was the moment.
What's the key in the second half to taking away this premiership?
Oh, I think the second half, as I said, with the first half, just the pressure. We're trying to keep that pressure up and the ball keep falling our way. And then, yeah, hopefully the result will come as well.
Best of luck, mate, for the rest of the game. Well done. Cheers.
So one of the young stars, Cody Curtin, obviously older brother Dan, applying his trade, will be well and truly in the race for that Rising Star award come the end of the season awards, and he makes his way off the ground. Gents, three behinds to 3 goals in that term has bust open this lead at half time. So 7-6-48 to 4-4-28.
I'll tell you what, Matty, one player I think we need to speak about, and I don't believe for a second the possessions that he supposedly got on the old WAFL facts or whatever it's going to be, but the 6 possessions to Elijah Williams I think has been quite telling. I think he's been really underrated. We talk of South Fremantle's poor delivery at times, but Williams I think has been rock solid for Claremont across that centre-half back position and really given them some some poise and some drive for some quicker players to release the ball from half-back.
Well, we draw breath here. Half-time at the main break. On the other side of these messages, it'll be Paul Persick and Nick Rinn with the half-time show. Don't go anywhere. Game still on the line. 2025 Colts Grand Final. We'll be right.
He's had 15 and a goal, and a very nice goal off the wing of the silky left boot. Incredible. And as we said, there's a couple there for South Fremantle in the mix. Fred Rodriguez with 15, Lucas Robinson with 12, but they need a lot of help. And I can't gush enough about Heath, what I've seen from Heath Melody today. The big specky on the wing, silky left foot goal off the other wing. Like it's been unbelievable. And Taj Longmuir's had a couple of opportunities. He converted one, the other one he didn't. It's just Claremont are getting wins everywhere.
Caleb Jermaine also getting a lot of wins around the ball, not just from the middle, but also up forward. He's bobbed up with 2 goals. The team stats here really tell how dominant Claremont have been, especially around the middle. 53-34 in the marks too, and the tackles really presenting why Claremont have been more of a free-flowing side today.
Yeah, and that surprised me a little bit because Claremont's tackling has been immense. Like, their pressure is unbelievable. So for them to only have 15 tackles shows you how much they've held the ball and how much that inferred pressure is sort of getting to South Fremantle.
Matty Rogers, the South Fremantle coach, he'll have a lot to say. So will Ricky Smith, as we see the Claremont players getting back onto the ground for the start of the second half. That'll be a picture of confidence after a strong second quarter, 3 goals to 3 behinds, and they've been there, done that, as we've stated pre-game in previous grand finals. They know how to get it done. South Fremantle, meanwhile, they've got plenty of work to do. Backs are against the wall, a position that they haven't really been in for some 3 weeks.
No, yeah, they've been solid. I mean, most of the year they've had things on their terms. So there's a couple of 50-50 decisions going against them, that kind of thing. But as you said, Claremont, the message at half-time was refocus, obviously, but keep doing what they're doing because the plan's working perfectly.
Now let's go back to our commentary team for what is going to be a scintillating second half in the EGT WAFL Colts Grand Final. It's good afternoon once again to Cam, Matt Chechens and Dan Hobley.
Yep, very good afternoon, Paul, and thanks also to Nick Rinn for our half-time show. And both teams out at the moment. That man will play a big part, you would think. Cam Robbins in Cody Curtin, we had a chat with him, and one of the best quarter-time goals, or a goal right on the break in that first term, wasn't it? I mean, I was sort of shaking my head thinking, I didn't think that he had the distance in him, but he managed to punch it through, and that's really sparked the Tigers, hasn't it?
Certainly has. I think that goal right on the quarter-time mark, as you said, Chet was very, very good. And just little things in these games, like just that opportunity in that second quarter to give them that free kick. Maybe the free kick was there, but no use arguing and spitting the chewy because you've got to get yourself above that to become a good player at the next level. But Claremont, as I said, a good half-time show by Nick and Paul. They just summed up all the sets so well, but they're just so much run and carry and the ability to break the lines by Claremont, and obviously South missing their best player there. Chet hasn't helped them.
You look at Lucas Catalini a lot, made of him in the media in the build-up to this game. He's taken almost 100 marks in the home and away season. Fantastic key defender, and one that will surely spark some interest from the AFL scouts. He hasn't really been involved that much today. He had a mark that I thought probably should have been paid in that second term, right under the noses of those diehard Bulldog supporters there at right half back. But he's going to have to lift his effort, you would think also, and for a key defender to be actually take marks rather than, I mean, there is value in spoiling and bringing the ball to ground, but he's got that phenomenal ability to actually pluck and take the mark and then propel them forward.
Similar Harris Andrews type role with the Brisbane Lions, doesn't he? He always backs himself in there, Chetch and Dan, and just takes the game on. Very good point. And that's what they lack at the moment, having the ability to break the lines and back themselves in. Will they turn that around in the second half?
Cam Maynard, I thought, has been superb for the Bulldogs at the moment, keeping them in it. He had a tremendous chase down tackle. He managed to hit the scoreboard as well. So he's one that's really going to have to lift in this third term to get them back. And we're talking as if the game's already done, but I mean, it's only 20 points, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I think the only concern for me is, and it's certainly not done by any stretch of the imagination, only 20 points, as you mentioned, but the thing that I noticed is around about that 25-minute mark of that second term is just the body language of South Fremantle just a bit off, and that's only according to me. I'm not an expert, but I think a little bit was left to too few. The Fred Rodriguez show, you know, okay, so he's got 15 disposals, he's kicked a goal, but you can't just leave it all to your stars. There's going to have to be that bottom bracket, the so-called bottom bracket of South Fremantle. They're going to have to rise from the Phoenix ashes and actually get going a bit.
Let's head on down back to the boundary.
Just watch both teams come out, lots more energy from the Tigers. South Fremantle walking through a few of their drills. If you're looking at face value and energy levels, I'm going with Tigers all the way here.
Tim Lee is there on the boundary line. Both teams go into their final huddles. Without sounding like Captain Cliche, this is the premiership quarter, so you would expect Claremont to come out firing.
Umpires have been reasonably good, I think, boys. From what I've seen, I don't think it's been anything too controversial, but obviously some very good tackling from both sides. I think they've been fairly present at most occasions.
Yeah, very consistent there, Dan, and Chet's just letting the play go on, which is a good way to go, I reckon. They're not over-umpiring, which I think is a very good, efficient effort by them in the first half, and can that carry on to the second half?
So 4 scoring shots to 3 in that second term really has busted this game wide open. The 3 goals won there for the Tigers and just the 3 behinds there for South Fremantle. But the Bulldogs will be kicking to the scoring end of the ground. There's not a breath of wind out there. If we have a look at the windsock and the flags here at Optus Stadium, it's very hot down at ground level and also up in the stands, as well as the WA footy community start to fill up this magnificent venue, and the Bulldogs will be kicking to the scoring end, and they will need to get on, hit the board.
I can tell you right now, Matty, I've just done the flight of stairs of 4 levels because the coaches have obviously locked the elevators. They've gone down there to get a bucket of chips. I've fixed you blokes up with a bag of snakes, and that's what you get for your troubles around here. You try to be a decent bloke, try being the key word, and you get shut down. I got told by security, you'll be taking the steps. Come across Dave Lindsay, of course, another colleague of ours, and even he had to take the steps. So I'm not happy.
I was wondering about the sweat stains there on the Gazman shirt.
Oh, that's just being around class people like yourself. It makes me nervous.
Third term underway. Can the Bulldogs respond? Van Ruin will shark his own tap work. Goes to ground. He's tied up immediately. We'll repeat as the push and shove continues. The tackling has been ferocious. It really has. The physicality of this game has been through the roof.
Matt, my apologies to interrupt, but I personally think that South Fremantle have got no choice but to send a tag to Caleb Germain in this third term.
Yep, we'll keep a close eye on that. Here come the Bulldogs. They extract the footy. Tumbling ball up towards the 50-metre arc. That's good, strong work defensively here from Brown. Ran into trouble. That opened the door for Taj Longmuir. His hand pass over the head of Maynard. He gets collared in the tackle. Tries to go again. Drop the footy. The advantage is going to be paid. So the Tigers reap the rewards. They spear it down the broadcast wing into the chest of Charlie Cossum. He's had pretty good patches throughout this game. Goes very high towards half forward. Good, strong stretch. It's been a feature of this game. Jennings Hopkins just steps inboard, spearing ball. Well done there for the Tigers forward. Is that tackle slipped high? No, it hasn't. The bottom of that was the youngster in Lucas Robinson, who's shown some moments today as well. So important stoppage just inside the paint of 50. Extracted by the Bulldogs. Rodriguez kicked it straight up and down a flare. It's going to be chopped off. So the Tigers, what can they muster here? They'll go to a tight angle. Good job defensively from Catalini, but he chopped the arm, said the umpire. We made a point about his intercept marking. He elected to punch, got too much of the arms there of the Tigers player, and Charlie Banfield, probably a player you don't want to give the footy to. And the first chance at a set shot for the Tigers.
What a bullet there from Melody.
Yeah, he's playing a good game of footy, isn't he? I like him, both sides of his body too, down left and right.
He's a gun, there's no doubting that. Speaking of guns, son of Drew, Charlie Banfield. Of course, there's a couple of Banfields out there this afternoon on grand final day. Harper.
Wearing the famous 6 too, as his dad did.
Should have played for Subi, boys.
Cossum out there too, just quietly. Should have played for Subi. Banfield, kick on its way, fading to the left. Went back right, goal! What a start here for Claremont. Things just got a little bit harder for
Banfield. Here's a replay then. Beautiful set shot by Charlie Banfield. As I said, still can't believe he's not playing for Subiac. His old man Drew is a good player for the Lions and played for West Coast, but he played with his friends and he enjoyed it, hence he's playing for the Claremont Footy Club. Umpire's going to bring it down again in the middle of the ground. The ruck knot here, Van Rooyen versus Elliot Tyman. He wins it. Tackle he didn't have, it was a South player. They picked that, Rodriguez. He's playing a good game of footy this afternoon by hand. Well, this is better. The run and the carry is okay from Thomas. Smothered off the footy, though. Falls back into the hands of Robinson. He's been good too. Kicks a bit of space. Well done by the Tigers defender. Left his player. Brought the contest into action here. Kick around on the left. Trying to find his teammate. Oh, bounces fickle in there. Picked up by Donald, the captain. Trying to find his teammate through traffic. Well done by Maynard. Sells a bit of candy. He's going to get it back again. Cammy Maynard. He kicks a ripping goal, and then there's a highlight, and he's done a triple backflip as well after he's nailed that goal. Well done, Maynard.
Goal of the day in this grand final, no doubt. Let's have a look at this. Maynard just spinning through traffic. The 1-2 handball. The finish was awkward, but how's this for a celebration? The Belarusian judge gives that a 9.9. Let's head to the boundary.
Stole my thunder. I was about to say the Croatian judge gave it a 9.5. Looking at Cody Curtin down here. He's starting deep in the forward line. He's looking to fill the bag up.
Just what the Bulldogs needed, and they look to get this clearance after that magnificent individual goal from Maynard. Chaos ball trickles up towards the hot spot. Tigers have done well again in defence. Out towards Banfield. Goes by left foot this time, out to space. Bit of a foot race. There's the egg-shaped ball, just causing chaos for both sets of teams. Hand pass. Kick around the corner for the Bulldogs by Max Thomas. Tumbling ball. Leading the chase back now for the Tigers was Brown. They do well. They've done well throughout the afternoon and just picking their way through the tackling pressure of South Fremantle. So having one bounce running away is Brown. Runs his measure, spearing pass, looking for Curtin. Did well there was Lucas Catalini. Brought it down to ground level. And the umpire just pulling the whistle a little early, much to the disgust of the Bulldogs hardcore fans. To the left of our screen, just there at left half forward. So Van Rooyen trying to extract that footy, and he is dumped to the turf. We reset again. 6 minutes of travel. Matt Chechen's here alongside Dan Hobley and Cam Robbins. Jordan McArdle, Tim Lees riding the boundary in this Colts season decider. Is that a push in the back? No, said the umpire, as he tried to make a reasonable attempt to get rid of that footy. No, he hasn't. So the free kick going the way of the Bulldogs. Things starting to turn for them, and their main man, now that if you just joined us, Toby Wan, out of the game with a shoulder injury. One of the superstars, the jackpot medalist. Great ball from Rodriguez, honoured the lead there of Ryder Luke, looking for Maynard. He's the man of the moment. Was he taken without it? No, said the umpire. The Tigers can repel. They get the clearing kick. And the saving mark from Banfield at right half back for the Tigers.
Starting to really heat up. You can see the South Fremantle faithful. They're leaning over like it's a Pakistan v India cricket match. They are fired up. The ball finds its way through the rubble here on centre wing. The errant hand pass came in for Claremont. Been tackled. Hand pass from Jermaine. Just forced to give it off. Comes to the waiting Wilson. Wilson, long and strong to centre half forward. Tracking back there for Claremont is Williams. Williams classily around the body. Showed poise all day. Was there a free kick? There is. Now the infringement has been judged upon that it was McAuliffe who gave it away. Williams is there in support as the ball is with Catalini on a half-back flank. Now, there's a couple of Catalinis out there today, one for Souths. This is a Claremont variety. Catalini, long kick. No one really wants to fly for the football. Souths kick it out of the pack. Williams sits under this one. Two South Fremantle players fly. Williams first back there for the Tigers. Williams transfers the football. Now, this is a real 50-50 footy. There for Souths, fighting hard, and all dents is Longmuir. Goes back in and has a second crack. Holds it up, does very well. Claremont through weight of numbers though. Williams farms the hand pass back out there to Braun. Son of Michael, 2006 Premiership player at West Coast. Here's another battle. It's Catalini v Luff. Luff, Catalini, go to ground. Good grand final football. Hot in the kitchen, hot in the living room, hot in the lounge. Ball in between centre wing and half forward. Souths desperate for the next. Van Rooyen farms off the hand pass. Made it someone else's problem. Gave it to Graham. His old man Butch pretty handy out there at Lake King back in the day. Souths inside 50. Where are their targets? Is there a free kick? The umpire's called it. And it's going to go straight there to Foster.
Yeah, the arm chop was there, boys. Definitely free kick there. Little bit of space. Well called there, Dan. But this player, Foster, kick this, boys. Game on. 14 points will be the difference, but he's got to kick it.
So Foster going back to the junction of 50. On the far half-forward flank. We've seen a couple of players nail this from this exact area. Foster. The approach will be vital. Off about 8 steps, stabs at it, kicks a very vital goal. Souths are back in town, they get back within.
And very good kick in the end, wasn't it, by Foster. Good quarter this for South. As Matty Check said, the premiership quarter is the third. South have kicked 2, Claremont have kicked 1. And the Bulldogs, here they come, ladies and gentlemen. A ruck duel right in the middle of the ground here. It's Van Rooyen versus Byron Foster. Umpire throws a pill up. Van Rooyen wins it, tried to find his teammate. Found it, got tackled, got challenged. Still have it. Well done by the player there. Van Rooyen kicks the ball to the forward pocket here. Defensive pressure by South was good. A little chiseling kick down the line. Might have been a relayed free kick. It is. And South's opportunity here to have the footy again through Luff. The run and the carry behind the contest is by Thomas. Got challenged down with a tackle, hence the ball's a little bit errant. Good defensive tackle by Claremont once again, wrapped up in a tackle by South. No easy kick there, holding the ball. Good effort, South Fremantle through McAuliffe. So has the footy. South, here they come. They've had a good 5 or 6 minutes so far in this third quarter. Decides to play around the arc, get a bit of distance with a kick, come off the side of the boot, in the hot spot here at centre half forward. Pack of the players trying to take a one-hand with the Claremont players. Hopkins, ball comes to ground, well done, one again, then by Melody. He's been impressive. There's 2 players on the fat side of the ground here. One of those is Claremont. They have the ball and they go forward.
And they're away now on the outer side of the ground. One bounce, he can straighten up here. He goes to the kick-off line. Curtin tracking back, got the separation. Catalini has done an admirable job in this term, trying to start a rebound inside 50 just moments ago. The ball, a turnover. Tigers showing their dash, and Curtin just got separation. Third in the comp for goals. Kicks 26 in just 8 games. He's kicked 1 this afternoon. This one to really take the wind out of the Bulldogs' sails. 15 metres. Stabs it home. Curtin has 2. Tigers restore that buffer, out again by 20 points.
Kicked 2 very timely goals, hasn't he, boys? Curtin in the first quarter, and also a good goal in that third quarter, Dan. But very good way to kick 2, wasn't it? Went to space, led that opportunity there, and Curtin, very, very smart. Good mark, good goal, and good conversion.
Tim Lee's on the boundary.
Nothing but net from the big fella Curtin, then some great signs from him, chasing down defenders as well, and that great goal. But the interchange continually worked over by Claremont. They actually could have raffled that last one.
Loves his NBA, Tim. A little reference to the old nothing but net. The ball back.
Pretty good player himself, Tim Lee's played state 18s. Good play, boundary rider.
Coach Corrigan too back in the day, but that's a story for another day. It's the ball back in the bullseye of Optus Stadium as Banfield clears, that being Charlie Banfield. Timely kick inside 50. Competing there was Jennings Hopkins. Picked up Jermaine, clever hand pass. Fed it out, some numbers around here. Hanson Hanoi certainly looked dangerous, but it's going to be Wilson, who I think has been underrated this afternoon and just how much work he's done across that half-back line. He's a deadly kick. Lucas Ali. Just back off the centre square, gets a bit fancy, got to be tidy with a kick and wasn't. Turnover. Got to be so crucial in these games as Claremont look to butter up. They go through Gallagher. Gallagher, standing start with a kick, another turnover. Souths, they're away. Hand pass to Donald. Donald gives off the hand pass. Gave it to his runner there and Roberts. Roberts will get it back on the overlap. Roberts runs to 55 with a kick. Not the best. Floats back across full forward. Cut off. He was looking there for Miller, but it was cut off there by Hopkins, who's done not a lot wrong in defence there for the Tigers. He clears to Williams, who marks the ball in a back pocket. We have a breath. Williams. Whoop. Best of kicks. He certainly made Hopkins reach for third slip. Oh, that's a horror. Absolute horror show. Had Scream written all over it back in the early 2000s. Wes Anderson would have been proud of that genre.
Well, Nightmare on Elm Street, where's Freddy Krueger?
Oh, spin the head around with a little bit of green muck. That had green muck all over it. You don't want to criticise the kids, but I tell you what, when South Fremantle needed an early Christmas present, it's almost like Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, the whole lot of them just rocked up on the same day in the same cab. We wait on the kick. Off one step. Across the face. And through for a behind. I gave it the best build-up I possibly could. Yep. The kicker, though, was Bushy Jones. And it's a behind. Doesn't hurt the Tigers. They lead by 19 points. 15 minutes played. Third term.
So Willis has it now for the Tides. Goes on that fat side of the ground on the wing. Good mark over the top. Well done by Claremont. They're out here through Georgie Gale. Takes a bounce. Delivery not so flash over the top. Once again, South behind the pill. Take a good defensive mark. They can go laterally here. All by himself with Catalini of the Lucas variety of South. Takes a handball over the top. Puts his player under all kinds of pressure. The 1-2 by Catalini was okay. Goes on his non-preferred. The kick was okay in the end. It's turned out very well. Longmuir has the footy now. Oh, ordinary kick by Longmuir. Once again, Willis was good behind the play. Handball by Banfield over the top. The no-way handball was no good. Longmuir again will use that left foot, get a bit of distance with a kick. Goes in the hot spot. Spall over the top was affected by Hopkins. Oh, Cam, sensational. Maynard, little check side, banana, another goal, South, here they come.
Let's have a look at this. And again, that man, Cam Maynard, just stepping through traffic, firing off the hand pass. Have a look at this. Just steps, almost like a rugby league winger, just stepping off the foot, firing it off. And J. Elliott Tideman puts a ribbon and bow on that gift. 9-6-60, 7-5-47. This has been a great term for the Bulldogs. Let's head down to the boundary again. Tim?
Yeah, just keep an eye on Marlon Masterles. He's got a bit of hamstring tightness. They're doing a bit of stretching and rubbing on him.
Thanks for that, Tim Lees. Rodriguez and Melody, the ball winners, leading ball winners for each team. 15 apiece as we have a free kick. Taken by Gallagher. Look to lower the eyes and an intercept mark again to the Bulldogs. Max Thomas had a great afternoon. Goes across his goal mouth. They look to go into the corridor. Didn't execute the kick. Lands at the feet of Banfield. He's got so much room to operate, and a rare miscue from him. Puts it back into the hands of Riley Stannard, who goes out of side. Fred Rodriguez just burns away from his pursuers towards the wing. Probably went one club too short with that one. It dropped in. Bulldogs running into a roadblock. They'll bottle it up. They'll sift through, and they have a ball up inside. Well, past the 18th minute. 25 minutes, no time added on. And the Colts, the decider here at Optus Stadium, a hot Optus Stadium. The crowd starting to build in. The WA footy community getting behind Bulldogs here in the Colts and the Tigers as that ball just pitches inside the paint, out of play. And we'll have a reset just between the wing and half forward. Matt Chechens, Cam Robbins and Dan Hobley calling all of the action today. Tim Lees is right on the spot today on the boundary alongside Jordan McCarville as the ball will get tumbled back in. Next goal will be massive if it goes the way of the red and whites. That's a thump back towards where it came, and umpire says reset, we'll go again.
So the ball, as Matty said, just on that far side of the ground between the wing and half forward. The Tigers would love their 10th, and of course South Fremantle would love the ball to go down the other end for their 8th. Remains to be seen. Clearing kick there from the big fella in Foster. Didn't have a lot of thought behind it. It didn't really matter in the end because Souths were good enough and they have the ball at half back. So South Fremantle get a couple of leads, got some free players inside. Now it comes back to the previous kicker there in Foster, who spilt the mark. Now to Van Ruin. Now Van Ruin with his kick spills over the back. Players converge. Jennings Hopkins is one of those. They cause a stoppage. And it just goes to show percentages can only just be off by a few centimetres in football. Now South Fremantle had another horrible turnover. Ball thrown aloft. Rucks to compete. Souths again under a lot of pressure. Comes to Banfield. Round the body though. He has nailed it. Charlie Banfield only needed a couple of metres of space. Screwed it around and puts another nail in the Dogs for the moment. Causing some real problems is Banfield of the Charlie variety. Classy finish. Tim Lees on the boundary.
The big fella Curtin, he's been screaming for about 5 minutes to come back on. He's finally got his wish. Keep an eye on him. He's looking to fill that bag up today.
Yeah, very good effort by Bamford here. Look at this roving on his non-preferred left. He's kicked 2 this quarter, lads, and just shows his class. That's why he's going to be a good pick, father and son for West Coast. A very, very clever play at that. So all of a sudden, South do the hard work. Thought they're going okay. They've kicked 3. Claremont now have kicked 3. We're back to even Stevens, boys. Great crowd here, starting to build up for this grand final clash in the WAFL League for East Perth versus South Fremantle. At the moment, in the Colts here, Claremont are up early in the reserves. East Perth won. They beat Claremont a bit of a ball over. Bamfield again tracking well, can draw the play over the top. He doesn't. He goes down to the right half forward flank here, over the top. Good defensive spoil then by the play there for South and Luff. Ball comes to the contest. Good defensive tackle. Once again, Claremont, their forward 50 there, Matty Chetts. The pressure and the tackling overall has been sensational. And
the deflating thing for the Bulldogs is that they've only won this term by just 1 point for all of their good work earlier in the term. So the ball up. Claremont, little shallow entry inside 50. They've got to try and recede a bit of ground and just escorting his opponent over the boundary line. Riley Stannard, we've got a ball in.
Just on the Banfields, lads, I'm not sure if you've seen a photo of Drew Banfield lately, but I'll tell you what, I saw one about 3 weeks ago. He was on a boat, just in the shirt and shorts. He looks $1 million fitness-wise. It's a very, very fit man.
It's just like looking in the mirror for me there, Ben.
Waiting for that.
As the kick around the corner under duress is going to float out of bounds on the full.
Well, you did save the Hawthorn Footy Club.
Yep, Cam Robbins, recruiting officer back in the day.
That's when I had hair, boys.
And it was your own colour as well, as the Bulldogs look to clear their defensive arc. Big high ball, and that mark's going to be paid to the man in front, Lucas Robinson.
Probably back when you could invoice for your jokes too.
Just backward of the wing. South Fremantle with 2 1/4 minutes to try and muster up something, a bit of momentum heading into the final change. Down the line, just floated over the head there of the defensive player for the Tigers in Brown. They've got numbers again. The 1-on-2 is going to fall in. That was agricultural, the higher shot. Will the Tigers take the advantage? The umpire says yes. The floated hand pass over the top to Braun. He lost his feet. Crumbs gathered by Stannard, and now the Bulldogs can go the other way. They've got 1 minute and 50 in this term, taking 1 bounce. There's Ryder Luke, he takes his second. Kicks to an open square. How will it go? It goes through. They needed that. They got that. Ryder Luke, the Bull.
good running goal, wasn't it? Took the game on. That's what I like too. Young rider Luke took 2-3 bounces and backed himself in. Dan Hobley outside 50. He said, I'm going to have a crack at goals. And he fulfilled that obligation.
Well, the depth of the kick, I mean, it's carried over that line by a good 5 metres. So, wonderful kick. We're back in the middle. South Fremantle just consistently just hang around. They can't get past that 2.5 goal margin, though, at this stage. 13 points. The Tigers 10-6-66 on the scoreboard. 8-5-53. Van Ruin has the pill.
I'll tell you what, the Bulldogs will want to claw onto this and not concede a late one. Inside 30 seconds now of this term.
Van Ruin with a kick. Now he needs numbers around this. First back there was Braun. Gave off the hand pass to guess who? Charlie Banfield. Penetrating kick, if you don't mind. Has plenty of numbers around it. South Fremantle to clear. Banfield will be in this contest v Robertson. Robertson was outstanding, as he has been all day for South Fremantle. He's been trying his absolute guts out. 3/4 time, right on the bell as we go to the 3/4 time break. It's South Fremantle who trail by 13 points. Claremont 10-6-66 to the Dogs 8-5-53. A great quarter of football, gents, and it's all up to South Fremantle whether they want it. At this stage, it's a game for Claremont to lose.
Yeah, 4-3 in that term for the Bulldogs. They have a sniff. 13 points is the margin as we turn for home. The season deciding the EGT Colts the season 2025. Game in the balance, isn't it, Cam?
Certainly was. 20 points of the margin at half-time, boys. It picked the margin back to 13 points and a very even contest that time. 4 goals to the South Fremantle Footy Club. 3 goals to Claremont, but don't write South off.
We turn for home. 3/4 time. 25 minutes of action remain. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, the 4th term of the grand final for 2025.
This broadcast is brought to you by Front Row Screens, your local streaming superheroes.
Charlie Banfield, the standout star for the Tigers in this 2025 EGT WAFL Colts final. It was the Tigers by 1 at the first change. At the main break, they enjoyed a 20-point lead, and then the Bulldogs managed to bite back in the third, just 13 points. We're in the home straight. Matt Chechens alongside Dan Hobley, and Cam Robbins to my left is going to talk us through some of the big numbers with just 25 minutes of footy left.
Absolutely. Thanks very much, Matty Check. Claremont overall, 142 kicks to 126, 102 to 66 handballs. Marks also in front, 66 to 49. But the tackles, this were the Bulldogs in front, lads, 41 to 27. Hit-outs, 19 apiece. Clearances, 23 to 21 to South. But inside 50s, Claremont, 46 to 31.
I thought a feature in that term for South Fremantle. I mean, obviously that man on camera right now, and Cam Maynard had a sensational individual goal. Look at that for athleticism. And then he also provided another one in heavy traffic as well, just fed off the little hand pass. And then I feel, Dan Hobley, that the Bulldogs across their defensive 50 were a bit more composed. They took more intercept marks, and their work from rebounding inside their defensive 50 was much better in that term.
Yeah, spot on, Matty. And same to you, Cam. I think Maynard's game's been extremely underrated. He weighs 61 kilos, wringing wet in the sunshine. And I tell you what, his game, he's tried to get him going across that half-forward line. So Matty Rogers would be thrilled with that. They're certainly within a chance here. It's only 13 points, but Claremont just have so much power if they do pull away. They should win, but Souths are a big chance.
That was a big moment in that third term as well, as the big ruckman in Byron Foster kicked 4 goals, 3 leading into that. And the big ruck we've seen across all levels of footy. Some of the set shots there from the rucks, but he did well to manage to steer that one home. Jordan McArdle, the superstar boundary rider, what have you got for us?
I'm here with Matt Rogers. Matt, a much improved third quarter. Were you happy with that one?
Yeah, we just got the pressure up. It felt like there was no pressure on the ball, and they got to play their way for the first half, and then we increased our pressure and took away their clean possession. So yeah, much more pleasing.
And the message, dig deep, and you obviously pointed at the massive group of South supporters behind us. How important will they be in terms of energy and momentum?
Well, we've got this full squad mentality we always speak about. We all eat together, and I suppose these are the 23 who get to play for us, but we've got a whole squad who have to sit in the stands. So we're trying to leverage them. We've and get them over the line because, we're going to need to dig pretty deep.
Obviously, Toby Wan done for the day, but how impressive has Fred Rodriguez been stepping up and, I guess, taking that extra load?
He's just running himself into oblivion. He could not be working any harder, Fred. He is putting the team on his back and working himself into the ground.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate your time as always.
Thanks to Matt Rogers, head coach there of South Fremantle. He had a wonderful playing career, obviously, with the Perth Demons and Swan Districts. That man, Fred Rodriguez, 22 disposals, gents. He's also laid 6 tackles. Fourth term is underway. It is the Bulldogs to the right of your screen. They have trailed throughout most of this afternoon. First goal will be crucial through a set of hands. Good work in tight there. Breaking his way through is Robinson. Kicks up towards full forward. It's off hands. Tracking back on that bouncing footy is Foster. He's taken in a good tackle. The umpire said legally. And there is that forward pressure that Matt Rogers spoke about with Jordan McArdle. The smother, those 1%ers, allows now the Bulldogs to reset from this stoppage. They trail by 13 points. And the umpire's just blown his whistle. I think we've got a blood rule. So one of the South players will come from the ground and a chance for us to reset. This is going to be a huge turn.
The Dogs, a bit of A to B analysis. They need the first, don't they? We'll get them back within 7 points and really make Claremont have a deep think about things. But at the moment, it's down the right end. So South Fremantle, they got some drive early out of the midfield of this quarter. Again, bit of a shallow throw in. Van Rooyen went very aggressively with the fist. The Tigers lose the football. Just backtracking there for South Fremantle. To me, like it was Lucas Ali. Attacking the football magnificently there for the Tigers was Catalini. Catalini's ball ends up with his teammate there in Melody. Melody went with a sharp kick to his teammate there again in Jackson Catalini, off hands and back over the chalk. Now the ball is in between centre wing and half forward, that true half forward position. South's desperate for the first. Van Rooyen is going to be really pivotal if Claremont are to hold on. And he's opposite ruck there, and Foster is going to have to be at his career best, you would suggest. Another inside 50. Well, it was going to happen, but the smother happened also. Brilliant effective smother there by Harper Banfield. Ball ends up on the half forward line. Kick around the body there by Hanson. Flying back there was Jennings Hopkins. Still a hot footy. Souths have got to be careful they don't give away a hand pass in the wrong direction here. They did very well to get out of jail, but you would suggest that the Tigers will have the numbers. And guess who? Charlie Banfield, who's going very close to winning the medal, you would suggest today. Curtin was the target. Bounced off the chest. Maybe a little bit of perceived pressure. Tackle applied there by Claremont. Stoppage. Holding the ball. Now, Souths did dispose of it after the free kick was kicked, or awarded, I should say. No infringement, apparently. So it ends up with Carter Bryant, the boy from North Beach Junior Football Club, sporting the bright orange boots. He can go back from 48.
Boys, very good umpiring there. Tam Ewan was the man that was, or rather Charles Hamilton was put on the spot there.
Bryant teasing ball to full foot. Oh, there's the flyer. What a grab. Tell you what, he can play, can't he, this Jennings Hopkins?
Yeah, smart kid, isn't he? Smart player.
Well, he went right to the back of that contest, and you'll see him on the vision, and then just cuts ribbons through that and takes the mark, and should kick a soda with a bit of raspberry fodder on top. 12 metres out. Early statement for the Tigers, makes no mistake. The Tigers throw the gauntlet, the challenge down to South Fremantle. It gets real.
And easy goal in the end to Jennings Hopkins, as you said, Dan, a very, very smart player. 20 points has been the biggest margin by Claremont all afternoon. It's now 19, so they just maintain that buffer between 19 and 20 points. Claremont will have all the answers at the moment. We're in the centre once again, doing the ruck work is Van Rooyen. Big thumping fist by him, trying to find his teammate. The run and the carry sensational. There's by Jermaine. He goes to the forward pocket here, trying to find his teammate. The South have the numbers though. There's a 2v1, and boundary line is the best friend there. And worrying signs here for South Fremantle. Only 5 minutes to go, but You kick one against in the first quarter, both Dan and Matty Chech, and your head starts to drop. You said, can we get that goal back? I'm not sure. Doubt goes through your eyes. Umpire's going to throw the ball up again. Doing the ruck work this time is Curtin. Brings ball in the contest. Might have caught one high. Curtin still trying to massage the ball out there. Handball's okay. Kick around the corner is a shocker. Off the side of his boot. Comes through traffic. Claremont have the numbers here. Goes to the forward pocket. Might have caught one high. Pleading for a free kick. The kick's not there. And another boundary line throwing 10 metres out from Claremont's goals.
The thing is, gents, is that we're already gone 5.5 minutes. Now, this is not going to worry Claremont in the slightest, but these are the vital minutes that are ticking away where the Dogs need to be kicking goals.
Jordan McArdle.
Another injury concern for South Fremantle, Kean Bush-Jones. He's just getting some work done on a facial nose injury. He's been off for a few minutes now. Expect him to come back on, but yeah, just taking a little bit.
It's walking wounded at the moment. Toby Wan, unfortunately, out of the game. First term shoulder injury by the looks of it. Has not featured for the remainder of this game, but South Fremantle have been gallant. If they can get the next one, it'll be game on. Banfield, he has been superb. Puts it long towards the pocket. Good discipline defending there for South Fremantle. Heath Wilson kills that contest. Valuable seconds tick along as some of the Tiger faithful just come down from the golden triangle.
25 possessions now to Charlie Banfield there, Matty.
Has dominated throughout. And kicked 2 goals, mind you, as well. Important stoppage. Crumbs spill over the back. South Fremantle need to go. They need to generate from this rebound across their defensive 50. Perfect ball. Out into the leading pattern there of Taj Longmuir. His kick. Not sure if the intended target there, McAuliffe, but he couldn't reel in the mark. That opens the door now for the Tigers. Good work in tight. This is Oscar Willis. Fans one over the top. Harper Banfield. Had a fantastic game back in round 13. He's given too much space there by the Bulldogs. Ambles his way through the heart of Optus Stadium. Kicks them back inside 50. Bulldogs have been under heavy duress in this term. High kick. It's a one-on-one foot race towards the outer side. Getting to the ball is Hopkins. Awkwardly bounced the ball, almost like he was bouncing it at the start of the term. Kick was smothered. Tigers still get the good fortune. Inside 50, Curtin marks. 2 bites of the cherry. Well, his brother is an unbelievable mark overhead, and this man showing that he can do it as well. 3rd in the competition for goals. He's kicked 2. And none of those goals throughout the season will be as important as this one, because it will open up the biggest lead of the 2025 decider here at Optus. 19 points the margin. 8.25 minutes have travelled. The Tiger faithful with bated breath. Their young superstar struts in and punches it through. The Tigers with one hand on the cup.
He kicks the goal here. Watch the arrogance after he kicks it. Goes right up the South Fremantle supporters and he's stuck it right up. That's what you get. A young player, a bit of arrogance, mate. Nothing wrong with that. Look at that. Call me. I've kicked 3 and I think we're going to win the flag, he says to South Fremantle supporters just on that left half forward flank there, Dan.
He's gone the early crow, the early Barossa. 7 possessions for Curtin. 4 marks, and he's kicked 3 straight, so he needs just a little bit of the pill and he'll do plenty of damage. Speaking of damage, Robertson looks to inflict it here for South Fremantle as the ball has wandered up to half forward, cut off there by Williams. Williams whipped the hand pass there to Gale. Lucky for us not blowing a gale today with some horrible weather experience in the prelims last week. Claremont mucking around with it. Williams to straighten him up, has to go back into his opposite boot. And he wasn't looking for his teammate there around the body, I wouldn't have thought, but it was still marked. And a good mark taken too there by Gale. Gale goes short. And Claremont, just through the increments there of 20-metre passes, will just work it up from the half-back flank. Left foot kick. Telling ball. And the mark taken there for Souths across centre half-back. You just got to roll the dice. Just got to get going. Got to move the pill at a rate. Longmuir goes with a bit of a skip and a bit of a dare. to Foster, who gives it back straight away. Didn't show a huge amount of confidence as Souths have the ball on that far centre wing. They're going to backtrack. Here's Wilson. Wilson, well, a little bit lazy, just off the one step. Is right in the middle, so it's going to be a turnover here at will, you'd suggest. Bryant throws it on the boot. Another inside 50 for Claremont. Players tracking back here. Jennings Hopkins is one of those. Wanders the ball across. Curtin by himself in the goal square. Bangs through his fourth. You would suggest that is the game. 4 goals to Cody Curtin.
And once again, the score assist by Samson Jennings Hopkins. A very smart player. Could have gone for goals, but saw out the corner of his eyes that Cody Curtin was all on his Pat Malone in the goal square and slams through another goal. He's had 4 goals, but very good chemistry amongst Claremont, playing team 42, not going with the individual showmanship. They're just bringing each other into the contest, playing as a collective team, and that's why they are in front at the moment. And down on the ground once again, Timmy Lees.
Rebound power of Claremont on display in the last 5 minutes. Just brutal. Willis just before, but just excellent. Lowered his eyes, chipped it in there. They want the corridor. There's no banging long down the line today.
So Luff has it. Thanks for Timmy. He goes down the line trying to find his teammate. Once again, look at this. Claremont have the numbers. Melody, he's been sensational as well. He lowers his eyes trying to find his teammate. The boundary line's going to be the best friend there, but once again, the camaraderie, the chemistry, the understanding between the back half, Dan, is very, very good for Claremont.
Switch my mic on, that might help. Look, they've just been the better side, haven't they? As we look at the Premiership Cup, should be Claremont's, but the game isn't over yet. South Fremantle, they've given everything they've got, but Claremont just been classy enough when it's mattered most.
Right in front of the interchange bench then, 12.49 are gone. 13-6 are the Tigers. It's 84-85, 53 are the Bulldogs.
So we're halfway through this final term at Optus. Crowd starting to fill in now as we await the league game as well. Ball tossed in. Creative work in the ruck. South Fremantle again under so much pressure of disposing the footy. And getting over, chewing up more valuable clock was Joseph Hopkins. 7th in the competition in marks, but just shows his discipline there and getting his knuckles through the burley. So we'll come back in. South player held too long. The umpire maybe on the wrong side of that contest. Tigers can just queue up. First time we've really seen them just in this term just punch it down the line, but it looks as though it may work out. And going to ground there was Sam Gallagher. And no effort to dispose of the footy, holding the ball. Urgency needed as Godwin toes it in a straight line into the arms of Donald. Donald played on into the corridor. They have to do that. Slung 7.20 in the tackle. Tigers forced the turnover and maintain possession. Hit as he kicked it there was the man that's been best on ground, in my opinion, in Banfield. Here come the Tigers again. They run up towards 50. There's 2 men ahead of the footy. Well done. They brought it down at ground level. A stoppage here will be a win for South Fremantle, as long as you make a valid attempt to get rid of the footy, which he hasn't.
Gee, really harsh on Wilson. I mean, he's gone back there, almost beaten 2 blokes on the deck. And I know that we're pretty temperamental when it comes to holding the ball, but I just thought that was a ball up for me. Must have pulled it back in, so because I'm not near the contest, but I felt for Wilson. Really has tried hard to make something of it there for Souths.
So Charlie Cossum, the man that's laid the effective tackle. 7-7 on the season. Scarborough junior footy product. As the Tigers slowly start to tie the ribbon and bow on a magnificent Colts grand final.
Here's the goal once again, the 4th for this quarter, boys, and South, as you said, tie a yellow ribbon round that old oak tree for the Tigers, Matty Chech, and 4 goals to Zippo in this last quarter. That's why they potentially have 1 hand already on the cup.
10 possessions to Cossum. He joins the party well and truly, kicks his first of the afternoon. In a memory that will stay a part of this Claremont squad for some time. There will be reunions in 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20. It's something that can never be taken away from this side of 23 players. 16.5 minutes gone. Final quarter. You've been on 7+ Sport. Been great to have your company. Cossum farmed out the hand pass. The umpire comes in. There'll be a ball up right on the junction or just inside 50. Again for Claremont. Can they inflict a little bit more pain, I should say. Pain, if I can spit it out. Here's Jermaine, round the body. Been very good in that first half. The bounce was a shocker. Running onto it to kick his goal. He's second in the space of a minute and a half is Cossum. Claremont, another nail. You would suggest the final nail. They are going to be premiers in 2025.
Danny Timmy Lee's on the boundary. Timmy, you're with us.
Yeah, there's lots of Claremont players getting rub downs here. Willis looks like he's got a lot of calf tightness. I think it's all irrelevant. The cups come out, it just went straight past us. Oh, the hairs are up on the arms.
Geez, a fickle bounce, wasn't it, Manny?
Yeah, it was.
Just when you try to smother the footy and the bounce goes the wrong way, you look over your shoulder and Cossum goes, thank you very much, for the kick my second.
The damn well has well and truly burst in this term. 5 goals unanswered. 43 points the margin. We're ticking up 17.5 minutes here at Optus Stadium. Umpire just ushering a bit of traffic around as he perfect bounce into the turf. The Tigers again with another clearance. Well done, Banfield. Tremendous game from him this afternoon. Harper Banfield propels them forward. They're looking to pile it on here. Other Tigers kicking up into the arms. They're going to get another one, aren't they? You bet they will. Val Davies kicks it.
So Davies getting another lick of the ice cream, boys. This time with hundreds and thousands. Had a flake earlier on. He's got one with hundreds and thousands. He's kicked a couple. Everyone's enjoying the lick of the ice cream.
Claremont have kicked 6 straight. Gents, this final quarter, South Fremantle have not scored. That is a far distance between the soon-to-be premier and the side that challenge. You've got to remember Claremont have gone the hard way to win their way into this premiership decider as the ball from the stoppage again, or from the clearance I should say. Ball has worked to Catalini for Claremont, who have just dominated this quarter. Like Brisbane yesterday against Collingwood in the last piece. Oh, floating back, surely a mark.
Curtin.
I think it might be Curtin yet again. An opportunity to go back and just dust up a nice little fiver. Curtin with courage. He's got a lot of size. We've documented before the game, before the first bounce, just how important he is for Claremont, for them to win.
200 centimetres, boys, and 98 kilos.
Just an animal.
Still growing.
At Colts level. Had 26 goals to his name in 8 games of Colts football. So he's destroyed the competition and done it on the finest day. Curtin settles over this and kicks a delightful goal and stamps his authority on potentially being a medal winner, competing with Banfield, that being Charlie. 5 goals for Curtin.
Very good effort, hasn't. We thought maybe didn't do much in the first half. I thought it was pretty well handled by Maxi Thomas, but you can't let a good player go down, and Curtin is nailed 3 in this last quarter for a total of 5.
Only 2 disposals in that first term, so he barely touched it. So he's basically kicked his 5 goals in the last 3 quarters of football. That's just dominant in any book.
Certainly is, and as I said, it's probably curtains for South at the minute, and down to Timmy Leeds once again on the boundary.
Lifts the curtain as Stars arrived. He's filled the bag up. I'm pretty sure that was a dart celebration, hitting the bullseye.
Middle of ground once again. Not too long to go now. Just under 4 minutes this grand final. The Tigers, they win another one. A very proud club they are. And the Colts, footy in the waffle. Umpire throws the footy up. One umpire watch and try to find his teammate. Roving front and centre is good. He's had a good game too. Lucas Robinson, he's been good. Goes down the half-forward flank. Defensive mark once again behind the ball. Another very, very good player for Claremont. Melody can play up forward, play in the midfield, running off the half-back at the moment, and kick the goal as well. He hugs the boundary line here. They're just doing what they want at the moment. That's Banfield of the Harper variety. He goes laterally. Once again, Claremont just running and running and running, and they get the ball again down half-back flank. They can chisel the ball up the corridor. Ordinary kick in the end. One on by South, left his player. They have the footy here, one on by Maynard. He's been a very shining light outside 50. Don't tell me he's kicked another one.
Oh.
Maynard, He is one clever little player. And another goal to Maynard, Cam Maynard, fantastic.
Just another wonderful effort from Maynard. He's tried very hard, as you mentioned, Cam. He's had the 9 disposals. He's kicked 3 straight.
And a few goal assists as well throughout the afternoon.
Certainly has. He's just been so dominant. Rucks go at it. Watson back in there for Claremont as the Tigers. They'll look to try and get one back, you would suggest. An opportunity through Hanson and Noy. They've been reasonably quiet. The ball comes wide and Souths will just have it planted at half-back. Kick goes up. And the mark to the leader there in Luke, who takes the mark. Ryder Luke. So he'll just go off one step. The ball travels about 45 metres. It's the traditional centre-half forward position. Off one step. The releasing ball there by Watson. Didn't really want anything to do with it other than just bombing it wide. Now here's Cossum. Kicked a couple of goals late. Goes long to full forward or just up from it. Brilliant fist in defence there from South Fremantle. They consistently have tried their best back there. McChrystal back there for Souths, getting in the knuckle on the pill just to force a contest. So we'll have a throw in. It'll be around about 30 metres around from the Claremont goal. They have 7-8. They're looking for 18. And discard Curtin bursting through this pack and kicking his 6th. He goes off the deck and he has kicked a goal.
Nostradamus to perfection there. Dan Hobley picked he was going to run it, ran through it, drove it, kick a goal.
No one in the front. Curtin kicks his 6th.
Put that in the bank. Very smart player, Curtin. As I said, does he come onto the contention now for best on?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, when you still look at Banfield, he's the drive in the midfield, but the person who kicks, 6 snags.
Yeah. I just feel for me, I mean, Banfield, when the game was even Stephen, he really stepped up and he's managed to kick 2 goals himself. And Curtin with the icing on the cake, he is a tremendous talent.
I would agree. Sorry, Banfield for me, I think, should still be in the medal. I think Curtin has been a couple of sodas amongst those 6 goals, but obviously brilliant game.
Well, they talk about the football factory in Geelong, that right here in WA, they produce AFL talent. 19 flags, last 6 of 11. They've gone back to back to back. It's the year of the Tiger. Claremont take out the 2025 EGT Colts Grand Final. A gallant effort from South Fremantle. They lost their superstar, Toby Wan, the best player in the competition, hands down, in the first term, and they fought gallantly.